Okay, here I am in a test plot with Balansa Clover, and Balansa has a lot of the same attributes that make Crimson a really good choice, in that it's typically very successful, meaning that when you plant it, you're going to get a lot of good growth out of it, a lot of really good biomass production, and it reseeds itself like Crimson very well. So once you have a year or two of getting your Balansa plot established, you can pretty much count on year after year you're going to get more Balansa production just from it reseeding itself the previous year. Again, a lot of biomass production. It is now May 17th, so in terms of maturation, it matures a little bit later, typically maybe 2 to 3 weeks later than Crimson Clover, but the Balansa is now on its way out as well. Literally just 2 weeks ago, all this clover was a lot more upright. You see all the biomass that is being produced here with the Balansa, but it is beginning to wither and starting to lay over. So it has done a great job this year, as it typically does. We see some advantages. We're in central Mississippi, and we're often dealing with acidic soils and oftentimes clay soils, and that can hold a lot of water. And we typically see, at least in our experience, that Balansa is very competitive with those types of soils. In other words, we can still get a really good stand even if the pH is a little bit lower and we're maybe holding a little bit more water than ideally. So Balansa for us is a really good choice. I compare that to here, this is one of the newer varieties of Persian clover. Has a lot of the characteristics very similar in terms of its growth form and so forth. It is still in bloom, so it's going to mature a little bit later than Balansa. And some of the characteristics that may make this work better for you, depending on where you're at, is this is probably going to be a little more competitive in a sandy soil. Another thing that we need to do more research to verify this in different soils in Mississippi, but this one may also, in the fall and winter, and primarily winter during hunting season, this may grow a little quicker, meaning this may add a little more biomass before it gets really cold. And then of course, when winter turns into spring, just like with all the clovers, it's going to rebound and grow like crazy. But that's just some differences here between Balansa and this new variety of Persian here. They all have good characteristics, and so experiment on your farm, on your hunting land, on your property. Try these different varieties, take some notes, put some exclusion cages around them, and just remember which ones do best on the soils on your property.